right, Lead Head. That time again for another episode of the Talking Lead podcast. And I'm struggling. I've still got that tryptophan running through my system from all the turkey from Thanksgiving. Had an awesome Thanksgiving, so, ready to get back in action and get you guys some news, some guests, some information here on the Talking Lead podcast. We dropped a really good episode during the holidays for you guys and girls to listen to. We had a trip to Idaho where we got to visit with Buck Knives. Got a tour of the facility there. CJ Buck, Chris Brooks, and our good buddy Bill Hampstead joined me. And we had it was more than a blast. We had a great time. Just a great bunch of people there at Buck Knives, just everything that you would expect from a family-owned, family-run business like that. And we were no exceptions to their hospitality. And we greatly thank CJ and Brooksy for inviting us up. And the podcast was great. We talked wildlife conservation, was kind of our main topic. So you guys go back, check that out. And then, of course, if you haven't yet, we did our final announcements for the winners of the Mission First Tactical and Talking Lead Tactical Wallet and Dump Tray giveaways, where we had some custom wallets and dump trays with the Talking Lead logos. We had our Lead Head Brigade logo, we had our classic logo, and then we had that awesome new Talking Lead AK Corner Season 2 logo put on the wallets and the trays also. So go back and see if you're one of those winners. I think we gave something like 30 of those away or something. It was great. So we thank Mission First for that. Keltec Weapons, one of our official sponsors, has been running some great Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals. I know a lot of you are upset because I didn't have our annual Black Friday, Cyber Monday special episode. And I really regretted not doing that, but I just didn't have time with everything that was going on. Some of you know that I had to put down Oshie right before I made that trip to Idaho, and that took a toll on me. But I really appreciate all the well wishes and all the love you guys have sent me because of that. He was a good boy. He's a good boy. So this week, we got another great episode. We got a big announcement that we're going to make. And to help me make that announcement, we have brought in the big guns. We brought in our good buddy, Casey Betzold. Casey, welcome in.
Hey, thanks for having me again. Good to be back. It's been a while.
It has been a minute. And as most of you regular lead heads know, Casey he still is. He's with Antiris Alliance. And that's an organization that we've been behind since the very beginning. What was that? Has that been 4 years that's been going?
Yeah, 4 years.
Yeah, about 4 years. And it has evolved in those 4 years to become what it is now. And we're going to have Casey talk a little bit about that. But should we go ahead and make the big announcement?
Sure, let's do it.
So Casey has taken on a new role. He's taken on a new career, I guess. Kind of what you know and what you love, what you were doing before. You've just taken it to a new level. So Casey is now with FIOCCHI Ammunition, and that's FIOCCHI USA.
Yeah, I mean it's been a whirlwind of the last 6 months for sure.
Because you had your own ammo company.
Yeah, I mean we've had Snake River Shooting Products and worked the Team Never Quit line and worked in ammo. Prior to that, I was with ATK before pre-Vista Outdoors days, so it's been quite a while ago, and just been in the industry really since 2007, and ammo being kind of the sweet spot for me, a place that I like to be. It's a market I understand and I've been a part of really since then. So, I came into contact with the guys, Jared Smith here at FIOCCHI, who is the GM at SHOT Show last year, or this year technically, and back in January, really to talk to him about some different products in the market, some things I wanted to put in front of him to talk about and have him take a look at it. And that resulted in a trip to go see one of those companies and look at what they had for technology and where it may fit into the FIOCCHI lineup. Then it turned into kind of this consulting discussion. And then before long, they offered me a job. I told them no initially.
Like, come on, dude, I got my own business here.
Well, one, I had a ton of stuff going on, but still have a ton of stuff going on. But the bigger reason was just, ammo has been so up and down, as everybody that, listens to your show, I'm sure is well aware. The market's feast or famine, it's back and forth, and it's so reliant on current events and what's, who's in office today. And it makes it tough from this side, on the manufacturer side, to really track it and do a good job with it. I love it. I love the market. I love the industry, but man, ammo's been tough. My explanation to people, it kind of sucks the soul out of you, the way the market's swings around. I'm trying to keep up with it. But Jared had me come down, and I showed up at the factory here in the U.S. in Missouri, and I was actually up there about a mile from where you were a week and a half ago or a week ago with the Buck Knives guys. And that's where I kind of intended to be. My kids are there, and I love it up there. Kind of grew up in southern Idaho and went to college up in Moscow and spent a lot of time up there. So I was there happy and good to go, and this kind of came along, and at the end of the day, that got really interesting, and I'm really, really happy I made this move, and I'm running the sales team here now at FIOCCHI.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
We were excited to hear the news. And we visited Moscow while we were up there also.
Did you?
Brian Keeney with Alco Defense is there. They're one of our supporting sponsors for the AK Corner.
Yeah.
And so I didn't realize that it was a college town, but it's really nice there. Really clean, and
it's a nice town. It's basically just a college town. There's not a lot else going on there, and it's only 8 miles from where Washington State is in Pullman. So there was from a college perspective, it was a great place to go to school.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on, a lot of good sports there. You got the Pac-12 side, then you get kind of the smaller school side, and I had a lot of fun when I was there.
Yeah, really enjoyed that visit too. Beautiful town. But our big announcement that we're going to make, that's not the big announcement. That is a big announcement. But the big announcement is that FIOCCHI is now an official sponsor of the Talking Lead podcast. Woo-hoo! Awesome. Yeah. We weren't going to make the announcement until SHOT Show, but we thought we'd just go ahead and do that because there's going to be a lot of awesome stuff that we're going to be doing at SHOT Show too, and we didn't want that to get put to the back burner. So we thought...
I would say, Marty, for us, you and I have known each other for a while now, but one of the first things I noted getting here and kind of getting my arms wrapped around FIOCCHI is that FIOCCHI as a company has done an absolutely phenomenal job of marketing their brand to the industry. And I think they've done an equally weak job of taking the next step downstream and actually letting the consumers know about us and what we do and the products that we make and the breadth of products that we make and where we make those products. And one of the first things I thought about was where are the places where there's a consumer base that understands the product that we can speak directly to and get the brand out in front of them in the right way. And this was a no-brainer for us. So we're happy to be here, man.
Well, I was glad when you approached me with the opportunity, and I know the Lead Heads will be also. And we're going to learn more about FIOCCHI. We want to get the history of FIOCCHI and, of course, your products and then where you're headed in the future. So, but before we do that, Casey, I hear that jackwagon train rolling in. So we got to take care of some jackwagons. It's been a couple of weeks.
Nice.
Gunny, bring that train in.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and 9. It is time for the Talking Lead Jackwagon of the Week, so brace yourself, baby.
All right, so the train has stationed. And I think I'm just going to start calling this segment the Train and Planes segment, because we're going to, on the converse, we're going to be doing our Lead Head Brigade Heroes as well. So I think in the last few episodes, you guys have kind of caught on that this is the Planes and Trains segment now. But we're going to do the Jackwagons first. And we'll start off with listener-submitted Jackwagons. This comes to us from Jeffrey Haddix, Leadhead Jeffrey. And this is something I haven't heard. I hadn't heard about this story. Apparently there was a pellet gun shooting in Sacramento State at the college there, and it killed somebody. So Sacramento, California, It says, no charges will be filed in connection with the deadly pellet gun shooting of a Sacramento State student that happened off campus in April. Sacramento police were called to a home in Lycoming Court. I'm not going to read all these details. Officers found they found this dude, I'm not going to read names either, who'd been shot with a pellet gun. He was taken to a hospital where he later died. I mean, I can't think of anybody that's been shot with a pellet gun that's died. This might be the first case. Officers investigated and sent their findings to Sacramento County District Attorney's Office, which said Friday it would not file charges. This case involved the tragic death of a young man just months before his graduation from the California State University. Homicide detectives from the Sacramento Police Department conducted a thorough death investigation and asked our office to review this incident. Our office conducted an independent review of the police department's investigation. After our review, we determined that this was a tragic accident and that the facts did not warrant filing any criminal charges. No other details have been released. Well, I want more details. I want to know why they're shooting each other. And it looks like it might have happened at a fraternity. So that explains a lot right there.
Yeah, that does explain a lot. With those new air rifles, in fact, one of them will be at that event in January that we'll talk about here in a bit. But Umarex has some air rifles that they're shooting Cape Buffalo with now in Africa. And
well,
stuff.
You make a good point there too. And when they say pellet gun, you naturally think of when you were 12 and you're out doing that pump guns and you're shooting tin cans and shooting at birds and never hitting a bird and shooting at squirrels and stuff like that. But yeah, some of those air guns, we'll call them air guns nowadays. They'll shoot 50 cal. You can shoot up at the 50 cal with some of those. They're very powerful, but there's no details on this, so don't know what else there is about this. But I guess he's
lacking some details for sure.
Yeah, I guess Jeffrey is throwing the dude who shot the dude. I don't know who he's throwing on there, but anyway, interesting story to say the least.
If it was a fraternity, then it could have been a double Jackwagon story.
Right. I'd like more details on it. So if anybody has more details on that, send it in to me, talkinglead@gmail.com. I want to know more about the pellet gun murder. All right, so our next one, let's go to you, Casey. I know that you said that you had one. Well, let's let you have a shot at this.
Mine's probably actually late news at this point, but it's still fresh on everybody's mind on the industry side, and that's the Walmart decision to remove ammunition, the majority of ammunition from their stores. And the interesting thing about it, and why I think it's interesting to talk about, is FIOCCHI didn't have product on the shelf, so we didn't have the the mass issue that some of the bigger manufacturers in the industry have.
Right.
But what does it mean to the consumer population? What's it mean to the industry? It's 66% of the points of retail for ammunition in America are Walmart.
Really?
When it comes to our ammunition products, 66%.
Holy
so
God.
it is the majority of the points of retail go away. Well, remember back when Walmart kind of made its sweep across the nation, and there was the big fallout with small local businesses and guys that couldn't compete. The local towns couldn't compete. So there's places, if you take a state like Texas that's really spread out, there are literally towns where 5 towns have one single point to shop, and that's a Walmart, and they have to go 10, 15, 20 miles to get to it. But that's everybody else has left business. So if you have that kind of a spread, and then that point of retail now doesn't carry ammunition, and you're out in rural Texas, which everybody shoots and has guns out there.
Yeah,
they don't have that point of purchase anymore. So now they're looking online or other places, and so it's a massive impact to the market. And there's a lot of numbers floating around about the size and the volume of business. Hundreds of millions of dollars worth of business that is. Mm-hmm. But the thing that I think is amazing about it is the points of retail and what it does. What does it say to the country? What does it say to your consumer base? Think about the Walmart consumer and how many of those people are hunters and outdoorsmen and women and. But
you gotta think that their decision to do that was solely economical. I mean, apparently there's a loss leader there for them with the ammunition, and they just decided, not to carry it anymore. I can't think that they're, it's solely a political, statement, just like their decision to stop carrying AR style rifles.
Yeah.
It was purely a economical decision. If they were making money at either of those, then we would still continue to see them at Walmart.
Boy, there's a lot of speculation back and forth, and that the thing that enters in this conversation is Dick's Sporting Goods is doing the same thing. Obviously, it's not as big of as an overall impact to the nation, but it's the same kind of thing. It's like you're a sporting goods store. You had stores that weren't just golf and running equipment. It was Dick's Sporting Goods, and you had the Field and Stream stores lines that they opened as well, and to be stepping almost completely out of ammunition at this point, they pulled the black rifles off the shelf also after the shootings, and
right. But I really feel that Dick's was a political statement. I feel that what they did, they were actually trying to make a political statement, and they thought that was going to be better. I mean, it was a political, but it was also a financial, because I think they felt that people would get on their side and start buying their brand, more.
Sure. It's definitely a gamble, and I think on the Walmart thing, there's the shootings in the stores, and there's the concern there. We see the opposite response to evil and danger, like we see in other places around the country. That we'll back further out of it. We'll prevent people from carrying. We'll prevent people from doing anything to protect themselves in the store, rather than say we're going to make sure that the store is protected. I remember I was telling somebody at some point, when you travel to the Philippines and you go to Manila. If you go to Starbucks to buy a coffee in downtown Manila, there is an armed guard with a semi-automatic or automatic rifle there to protect the people at Starbucks, because they don't, nobody can carry weapons in the Philippines in the city.
Right.
So the company has taken action to make sure they protected their residents, but that's the piece that's missing from the action that's taken is, we want to make sure that we prevent guns from entering the store, which they're not doing anything to prevent guns from entering the store from a person that's hiding it to come in and do anything with.
Sure.
One, number, they're not securing the premises or protecting the premises either.
They're not providing an alternative safety mode where they're saying, all right, if you can't carry, then we're not providing additional security because you're not carrying. They're just saying you can't carry here and enter at your own risk.
Well, and you just gotta figure that, you wait and see what the American population does, and we're seeing more and more people that are just kind of accepting, well, kind of whatever. And I'm all for the side of saying, hey, a business can do whatever they want, and it should be that way. We shouldn't tell a business that they can or can't do something. And the impact should be whether I choose to put my money into that business or not.
Absolutely.
But the dollars should speak.
Yeah, and I've always been behind that concept. It's free business, fair market. You run your business how you see fit, and if you do successful, then great. If you don't, then the market has spoken.
Right, sure. And it'll be interesting to see what the market does.
Keep government out of it.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. And I think that you wait and see what the as it rolls out, which will be the first part of next year. And you're already seeing the impacts in those stores, but we'll see what happens. I mean, right here just up the road from where I'm at was one of the foiled plans of somebody going into a Walmart within that same several day window.
Yeah.
Right up the road. But somebody confronted that right outside. Of course, those don't make as much news story as the guys that don't get stopped. But
no, of course not. But but you know what? I never bought ammo at Walmart anyway.
I don't know that I ever did either.
I'm not going to say never. I mean, there was an occasion where I might have bought a box here, a box there, but
probably 22 shells.
It wasn't my main. Where I would go to, this is where I got to go get my ammo is Walmart. It never was that. And the fact that they stopped selling it, unless, I would never would have known that they stopped selling it. But still, it doesn't affect my decision to go shop at Walmart, because I still go, for other things. Because, again,
and that's what they're banking on as a business. From the business side, they say, well, we don't sell
But that's
ammo
what
here.
I'm saying. I don't think ammo was a big, I think it was a loss leader for them. I think they were losing money on the ammo sales, and they're like, is this really going to make or break us not to carry ammo anymore?
Yeah, I don't think they were losing money, because I know what people were charging them. Nobody was getting a better price than them. But if it's a hassle that doesn't impact them financially, that they don't have to worry about, that's the discussions we've had internal to the industry. Are what is the statement they're actually trying to make? And if they're not trying to make a statement other than a business decision, that's the deal. But they haven't necessarily made that statement either.
No, because they even said, as far, we don't, we don't encourage you to carry in our stores, but we're not going to stop you if you do.
Right.
I've heard that also. Yeah, I carry in there all the time. I carry in a lot of places that you're not, well, I'm not going to say that you're not supposed to, but don't welcome it. And they never know I'm carrying. Because I don't make a big deal about it. And as long as you're not going in there being a dick about it and trying to be flamboyant and showboatish about it, then, it's better off for everybody if you don't do that.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of, conceal and be prepared and do your thing and be trained and all of those things. And the idea is it's concealed for a reason. So
On it right now.
Yeah. We got joiners? You want to be on a podcast? Hey, where are you going?
People are actually working today.
Yeah. So let's go to our next one. That's a good one. Good jackwagon. We're going to go to Kenny Ortega now. And Lead Head Kenny sends this one in. As atheist group demands illegal post-game prayer be stopped. And illegal is in quotes. At the end of every single football game at Cameron High School in Missouri, players gather at the 50-yard line and take a knee, bow their heads, and pray. But after an atheist group noticed that school-sponsored prayers, that's in quotes, were taking place at the end of every game, they flipped out, sending a letter to the school district demanding that illegal prayer be stopped. Oh my gosh. Now the Missouri district is launching an investigation into the so-called criminal action, blaming the coaches for supposedly coercing or forcing the students into participating in a religious act. The group is known as the Freedom from Religion Foundation. Their attorney sent a letter to the school district with their demands. We ask that the district commence an investigation of the complaints alleged and take immediate action to stop any and all school-sponsored prayers or religious worship. FFRF attorney Christopher blah, blah, blah wrote. So, when I was, and again, a whole different age, before and after the games, there was always a prayer. Even in the big movies, the football movies, what do you see? That's some of the most motivational scenes in those movies are when they're in there getting the prayer, the motivational prayer. But again, what's school sponsored about this? If the players want to do it, they can do it. I'm sure if they don't want to do it, they don't have to do it. These atheists, if they don't want to take part in it, don't go, don't say a prayer.
It's been that way. It's been, if you want to be part of it, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. And it's going to be offered. And it's the same with the Pledge of Allegiance and the same with all those things. And why somebody thinks that they're forced or coerced into doing something. Maybe that's the case in this particular case, but I would bet it's not.
I guarantee you it's not. It says, in fact, the head coach, his name's Jeff Wallace, and assistant coach Dave Stuckey have said that it's not uncommon for opposing teams to take a knee and pray along with the Cameron players.
It's super threatening.
Yeah. Just mind your own business. These kids, unless one of them is actually complaining about it and saying they're being forced to do it, then shut the hell up and stay out of their business.
What's great about freedom.
Right?
We've forgotten what's great about freedom.
Don't we have the freedom of religion? Don't we have the freedom of speech? Don't we have? No, we don't really.
Disagree and believe whatever the hell you want, but mind your own business. Yeah, I agree.
All right. So that's from Kenny. So good one, Kenny. Appreciate you sending that one in. And our next one comes from Austin, Lead Head Austin. And he starts this one as he starts every email he sends to me. He says, howdy, Lefty. I was watching my local news and some footage of some jackwagons who were robbing and assaulting food truck owners. And I noticed that one of the weapons they were using was an AR-15, I believe, but it had no magazine. I wish the food truck owners had the knowledge to notice that. Check it out. So he provides a link here. And if you guys just Google food truck assault or something like that, you'll find it. But in a nutshell, these two thugs were going around and robbing not only food trucks, but I think people just out in public too, and stealing their money. And they were groping them as I guess they were checking to see if they had stuff on them, copping a feel. I don't think they actually raped anyone, but they were using AR-15s, and you can see there's some video footage. There's some surveillance video footage. And sure enough, dude does not have a magazine in his AR. And I didn't see what the other guy was carrying, but it didn't look like he had one either. Not to say they couldn't have had a round in the chamber. They still could have had a round. So, anytime somebody's flashing a gun at you, I mean, you don't want to risk it. You don't want to call their bluff. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, jackwagons for, taking advantage of these people. And, if he didn't have a magazine in there, you're going to break the law. You might as well break the magazine law too. If if there's no 30-round magazines allowed in your area, why not go for broke? Anywho, yes, definite jackwagons. I got a couple more there on the screen. You want to take one of those?
Let's see.
How about the main man? That one seems pretty hilarious.
Let's see if I can open it. If it'll let me open it on my other screen here so I can see everything.
And this one comes to us from Jeffrey Haddix also. Leadhead Jeffrey. Leadhead Jeffrey's been active, so thank you, Jeffrey, for sending these in. And if any of you others have jackwagons you want to send, talkinglead@gmail.com. Just put in the subject jackwagon and send me a link to who you're nominating, and we'll read it on air.
Van Buren, Maine, small town. Let's see, the headline is "Maine man killed when he opens his own handgun booby trap door."
And Maine, as in the state of Maine.
The state. The state of.
Not like he's the main man, No,
not the main man. Maybe it was the main man. Small town in an extreme northeast corner of the state, hard against St. John River, which forms the U.S.-Canadian border in that part of the continent. That's interesting. Might just explain where it's at.
Okay. I think it's a BBC.
My case. Let's see. One of those contraptions involved. So he had a variety of homemade security devices. One of the contraptions involved a handgun that was set to fire if anyone opened the front door. Perhaps forgetting about the booby trap, he opened that door Thursday night. The door device worked exactly as designed and shot him when he opened it, according to the 65-year-old. After the 65-year-old dialed 911. Officer shows up, arrives on the scene, provided emergency medical assistance. He later died at the hospital.
So God died from his own booby trap.
Remember where you put your booby traps is the theme of the story.
Right. If you're going to set a booby trap, remember where you put it.
And the pictures of it, there's a lot of work and thought put into this.
It looks like one of those cause and effect models, where you drop the ball in the wheel and the wheel turns and then the ball goes down this thing and it trips something else and then it trips something else. And that's kind of what it looks like it's set up to do. It looks pretty elaborate.
Yeah.
What gun is that? Is that just that's not the actual.
It's like a bolt action 22 caliber pistol is what it looks like to me.
That's funny.
Maybe it is.
Yeah, I don't know. So you guys can just Google Maine man killed when he opened his own handgun booby trap door, something along those lines, and it'll come up. But yeah, moral of the story here is know where you put your booby traps. And I wonder if he's one of these guys that was planning on going on a big shooting spree and then he was booby trapping his apartment, for the police when they come back later. And then he actually forgot his ammo, so he was going back to get his ammo. And he got shot. Who knows? He died. We'll never know, I guess. That's a perfect Darwin Award right there, too,
Yeah, don't get your ammo.
Like that. Very good. So I think that we've got a few more here, but I think we got the main ones. Oh, I did want to point out New Zealand, because we talked about this before. You remember when they had the big Muslim shooting there, and that spurred a nationwide ban on every gun that he used in that shooting massacre. And then New Zealand has since become, California, I guess, in a sense. But they implemented this gun buyback. So as a citizen there, you had so much time to turn in your guns, or I guess, then you're going to be considered illegal and they're going to come after you. And it's been my understanding that the majority of the people have been very resistant to this. So they posted a thing online. New Zealand posted a thing for you to, post your information, basically who you are, where you live, what you're going to be turning in. And they didn't secure that. And criminals have been getting access to where these people live and going in and potentially, stealing these firearms. and putting these people's lives in danger. They're very irresponsible of New Zealand in their knee-jerk reaction to that massacre. But yeah, I thought that was interesting too. I mean, more blowback from their gun ban.
You generally get that with a knee-jerk reaction on things that are based not on anything legitimate.
Based on emotion rather than logic.
It's interesting and hopeful to me to see that there is a line where people say we're just not okay with that from the government.
Yep. So have you got any more Jackwagons?
I don't.
Okay.
Nope.
Well,
I'm sure there's a long list out there, but no, I don't have another one.
Yeah, I said we got several more here, but we need to move on. We want to get to our heroes. So, Gunny, get that train out of here and make room for Lead Force One and our Lead Head Brigade Heroes. Ghost, bring that plane in. Ghost of Charlton Heston has spoke. All right, so the plane is taxiing in, and I'm going to start with our guest today. He's got a couple of heroes that he would like to acknowledge and that we're going to give a ride on Lead Force One. So, Casey, who are your Lead Head Brigade heroes?
I have two. These are folks I talk about often, and they both are kind of forefront of the mindset because they both got some big things going on right now. But the Outdoor Association of True Heroes, or Oath Inc., they're actually based out of Texas. Good friend of mine, Gary Bartels, runs that, former West Point grad.
I know Gary. Yeah.
Army vet, good dude.
Gary and I have hung out a few shooting events. Yeah.
Yeah, Gary's fantastic. And he is in the process right now of he's got some Gold Star kids that he's got out on hunts. They do a lot of things with vets specifically, and they've got a couple things going on for some TV shows that Oath is part of, that they're getting some of the kids out there from the Gold Star families, which is a really cool project they've got going on. I've seen some of the pictures he's been posting, and today we're recording today on Giving Tuesday. So my couple heroes are both nonprofits that have some giving opportunity, but Oath Inc., check those guys out. They're a fantastic organization. They got chapters spreading out around the country, and more vets joining the group all the time. So they are good guys, good people, and Gary's the real deal.
Absolutely.
The second one I have is the ladies at Wheelchairs for Warriors. I think you know them too, Heidi Hansing and Crystal Larimore. Mm-hmm. We've had a chance to spend quite a bit of time with them, and they have found located another recipient in need of a wheelchair that they're raising money for, and they're doing a big push today here on Tuesday. But through the holiday season, they'll be raising money for another veteran who has a need. And generally, these vets have to be wounded in combat, in the line of duty, and it's generally a special need where they can't a wheelchair doesn't do it. In other words,
right.
They've got a mobility situation where they've got to have something specific. And so Wheelchairs for Warriors will do all the measurements, understand the lifestyle of the person, and if it's as extreme as they're literally bedridden and can't get in and out of their house, then they can go down that route. If it's somebody that's just having trouble, the first one that they did that I got to be a part of the giving the chair out, the guy had taken around to the head special forces, and it really messed up his mobility. He could do certain things, but he was confined to a chair, but he needed to be able to take care of his kids and reach tall places. And so they built a chair that would stand him up and lift him up and do all the stuff he needed to do. So
very cool.
Really cool organization, Wheelchairs for Warriors. Check those guys out. And
is that their website, Wheelchairs for Warriors?
Let's see, I'll pull it up here just to make sure.
Yeah, because I'm sure some of the lead heads would love to go and donate to that. Give them a link here.
Wheelchairsforwarriors.com is theirs, and oathinc.org is Gary's.
Gary's, very cool. And like I said, Gary and I, we were together during a couple of Charlie's world record attempts. Yeah.
So Gary's group was supported by a television show called, what is that show called?
Yeah, we had them on when we were out there too. So we introduced those guys. Was it Red something?
The Ultimate Hunt. The Ultimate Hunt.
The Ultimate Hunt, right.
Is the name of their show. It started on Outdoor Channel. It's moved over to Pursuit for this next year. FIOCCHI's the title sponsor of that TV show as well, and that show proceeds benefit Oath directly. So a lot of lines here overlap, which is a part of our strategy to really have our hand rather than just throwing money at things from a marketing perspective, really having a strategy to just get out and get the message in front of folks. So they'll be shooting FIOCCHI ammo all year, and
sweet.
I was lucky enough to go on a bear hunt with them recently that'll air on the next season here going into next year, and we're hoping they get a chance to come out here to the factory and shoot a turkey too. So it should be fun, man.
So you just have turkeys running around the factory? Is it?
Oh, we can talk about that when we get to the
okay. We'll talk about that. So
I got that on the list. We'll talk about that.
So yeah, definitely worthy of the Lead Head Brigade Heroes and a ride on Lead Force One, both of those organizations.
Yeah, great folks.
So our next one comes to us from Lead Head Border Bandit, and he writes, he says, "Hey Marty," which some of you may not know that's my name. My real name's Marty.
Who's Marty?
But yeah, some people call me Lefty too. It says, "I have a suggestion for a hero. I just finished listening to the Frog Logic podcast, episode number 18. Not familiar with that one. Where they interviewed Josh Vidal, an Atlantic City, New Jersey police officer who can only be described as being a miracle after recovering from a gunshot wound to the head in such a way that only about 1 in 400 survive. Listening to his story, he is self-described leadhead, as the bullet is still in his brain." Okay, I get that. Good one. Who knows? This badass motherfucker might take charge of the hero segment. Keep up the good work. So just a quick background on who Josh Vidal is, and this happened several years ago. There was some sort of an incident that happened at the Caesars there in Atlantic City, and Josh and his partner got out to confront the assailants. Josh obviously took one in the head, and then his partner took one of the guys down, and the others fled, and I think they since booked and charged those guys, and some of them are serving like 32 years in prison. But Josh has done a lot of great things despite his handicap. He started an organization, a nonprofit organization, and he's helping out in ways. But yeah, definitely Josh Vidal deserves a seat on Lead Force One and the title of Lead Head Brigade Hero. So thank you for sending that in, Border Bandit. And I don't know if you want me to read your real name or not, but we'll just leave it at Border Bandit for right now. Lead Head Border Bandit. And then I had one more here, and it's along those lines as well. If I can find it. I got so many windows open. Here we go. So this happens in California, and it's an off-duty California police officer attacked by teens after helping woman who said phone was stolen. And this is on foxnews.com. You guys can Google this. I'm sure it'll come up several different places. It says an off-duty police officer who stepped in to help a woman who claimed her phone had been stolen was attacked by a group of teenagers. And I wouldn't say a group of teenagers. I would say a pack of thugs at a busy outdoor shopping center in California on Black Friday. And there's video footage of this too, and you can go watch it. It's just, it's just baffling, how kids are acting. This is the assault, which was captured on video, happened around 8 p.m. At this mall in Oakland. The police department said Monday a woman seen in surveillance video wearing white clothes approached a group of teenagers that accused them of taking her cell phone minutes earlier. And I'm just going to recap. So watching the video, the teens start pushing this lady and getting physically violent with her. And you can see the mall police. I don't know if they're called mall police or what they're called nowadays, but they had the vest on. So they were there and around, but they weren't doing anything. They weren't intervening. And then this off-duty cop approaches, and of course I guess they didn't know he was an off-duty cop, stepped in to try to help her and protect her. And I think he was taking some photos of the kids to try to get evidence, he wasn't trying to confront them in any way, but one of the kids saw that he was taking the pictures of them, and then that's when they started getting physically violent with him. And, just like a pack of wild dogs, they just all started jumping in on him and kicking him and punching him and abusing him while the freaking mall cops are just standing around watching, for one. But this guy he's okay. I don't think he was anything major. He had a broken finger and some other things like that. But the fact that, he was off duty, he didn't have to do this, stepped up to help this innocent person was, that's a hero. That's the definition of a hero right there. Through no regard to his own personal safety. He had a gun. He could have pulled a gun on these kids. He didn't. He refrained from doing that. So tremendous self-restraint when he probably would have or could have been justified in doing that. But yeah, definitely. And I don't know if it has a name on here or not, but this guy is on the here we go. Officer Greg B. He didn't want his real name, I think, to be known, so they left it out. But Officer Greg B., welcome to the Lead Head Brigade Hero Lead Force 1. So, very good. And then the mall cops are Jackwagons. I'm throwing them on the Jackwagon train. So,
they probably had no weapons. Generally, they don't.
But still, they could have gone in and intervened and broke it up.
Stand around and watch a lady get attacked by kids is pretty crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so that does it for our planes and trains segment. So get that plane out of here, and we want to talk FIOCCI now with our good buddy Casey, and ammo, and with our lead head, or not our lead, but with our AK corner, and hunting season coming up, and our listeners are interested in ammunition. What's the best ammo for the best situation? FIOCCI has been in this business for a long time. I can remember being a kid going to the store with my dad and him buying ammo and him picking up FIOCCI, and of course I couldn't say FIOCCI then. It was FIOCCHI,
FIOCCHI.
Whatever it might have been. I don't even think my dad knew how to say it. So I grew up saying it wrong to begin with, but. Talk about the history of FIOCCI. Give us a high-level history of FIOCCI.
Yeah, and I'm probably not the best history major of the FIOCCI company that goes way back. That's there's some heritage back there into the World Wars and a factory being attacked and utilized for wartime. Under Mussolini, there's some really cool history I know with the company, similar as there was to Beretta and some of the other companies in the space in Europe that are still in the industry today. From our standpoint on the U.S. side, FIOCCI being a family-owned company, and in the industry, if you're in the industry or been around the industry, up until just recently, it's never been uncommon to go to a show anywhere in the industry and speak to someone directly with the last name FIOCCI, with Carlo and Pietro kind of running the show from the FIOCCI side on the U.S. side for years and years. And there's a lot of things that have gone on at FIOCCI recently, and there's a lot of questions out there about, is FIOCCI good? Is it not good? Are they still here? What's going on? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And you and I have both seen this in the industry from time to time. As change comes, it generates this ripple effect of what is actually happening. And there's a lot of crazy stuff that's gone on in our industry. So I think it's a justified question to say, hey, when you see a lot of change, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah.
So we can kind of clear the air on that a little bit. FIOCCI has been in business since 1876 in Italy.
Wow.
And in the U.S. since the 1980s. And so, that's some of the history aspect of the FIOCCI piece. There's also other offices around the world in New Zealand and Argentina and the UK. So FIOCCI is really a global company. That's not necessarily a small company. And it sits kind of in that number 5 spot on the U.S. market, taking the full size of FIOCCI into account. So it's a well-known brand. It's a brand I've always known about since the time I was a kid also, and known about, obviously, in the industry. You pay attention to the FIOCCI brand. The company's done a great job the family's done an amazing job. Family-owned company up until just under 2 years ago. Since 1876. So that in itself, very impressive, very cool, great history for a company like that. And they have built a brand around their last name, and the product has been solid, consistent, fair priced product for years and years. And, here a couple years ago, a private equity firm bought the majority of the company. The family still retains 40%. That's something most people don't know.
Okay.
If they know that they've sold it all.
Right. I don't think I realized that. I think maybe you and I had talked about it a while back, but it didn't really sink in. But
the fund is based out of Europe. They've got owners spread out around the world, even some here in the U.S., but they are based out of Europe, and so it's. I think it's just one of those things that didn't hit the news really hard here, and they did a really smart thing, in my opinion. They spent the last 18, 20 months learning about the market, the global ammo market, the U.S.-based ammo market, how it works, how it operates, and how to make some changes and adjustments to do what they want to do, which is, whenever a fund or a firm buys a company, they want to grow it. And so it generates a lot of investment, a lot of opportunity for the company to go to a brand to go to the next level. So from a business perspective, it's really exciting times for FIOCCHI. With the family still having involvement and seats at the board and a stake in the ownership, it's still got a lot of the heritage aspect tied to it. That hasn't gone away. And one of my first things showing up was, how do we not screw up all the things that are great about FIOCCHI and then still add things that are going to take FIOCCHI to the next level? So we have a bunch of things going on right now. We've got a new website that will hit right around the SHOT Show time, complete rework of the website, some brand evolution. I'm not going to say a change of the brand or a rebrand. It's really an evolution to the brand. So a lot of it will look really familiar, but it will take a shift and kind of be upgraded. Complete packaging rework is coming about in the middle to end of first quarter next year.
Okay.
Some new systems internally. They took the sales office for FIOCCHI has always been out in Boulder City on the U.S. side, in Vegas, actually just down the road from where the range event will be when we're out there in January. The fund made the decision to close that office and move everything to Ozark, Missouri, because that's where production is. So our manufacturing facility is in Ozark. So to them, it was like, hey, we need to get sales and production on the same sheet of music and get them in the same spot so strategy can be put together and take this to the next level.
Right.
And that was how I came in the mix back in June, was that shift of the sales office to Missouri. Of course, most people in Boulder City have families and lives and things there. That's not as easy to just pack up and move just cause. So a lot of the sales function is a new group of faces and folks. Now, they're not new to the industry, but new to FIOCCHI. And I reconstructed a team here, and that team is up and running. And the thing, other than our sales team, if you walk around FIOCCHI, you run into people that have been here 30 plus years, 25 plus years, 20 plus years. It's got a lot of longevity with the people that work here. They've enjoyed working for the family and a family-owned company that's got some legs in the industry and some.
Reminds me a lot of Buck. When we were going through Buck and talking about 4 generations of family-owned business there, and the people that go to work there don't leave. They stay there, right. And lots of tenured people there.
It is special, and I take it seriously internally that we don't omit what's special about FIOCCHI and all the history. It was way before I was around, or my parents and grandparents were around, frankly. So to take something that's got that longevity in the world market, or especially in the U.S. market, is pretty great. So
now that there's a Netflix series that I don't know if they actually film it in Ozark, but the characters are supposedly living. It's called Ozark, and it's got Justin Bateman in it, or Jason Bateman. It's a good show. Yeah,
it is. It's intriguing. I've made it through all the active episodes and that. Of course, everybody, when I was moving here, I physically live in the town of Ozark. So it's
so is it like the TV show? Is Ozark kind of like that? I'm
sure there's places you get off the beaten path that could be similar, but
it's kind of a vacation place, right?
Lake of the Ozarks sits about an hour and a half of here. There's a lot that's framed around that lake.
Yeah.
Ozark sits 20 minutes north of Branson, which is, a lot of people know Branson, Missouri. It's kind of a Vegas for old people. A lot of theater but there's Table Rock Lake down there, which is really picturesque and beautiful. But the plant sits right at the head end top of where the Ozark Mountains start in Missouri. So it's a really beautiful spot, actually. We'll have to get you out here to see it.
Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to get a tour out there. But yeah, squirrel moment there. It just made me think of that TV show.
It
and
comes up a lot.
See if maybe you'd seen any of those people out there filming.
Yeah. Well, I hear a lot of it's filmed in Georgia. I don't know why that's the case.
And that's the thing. Where a lot of these it's happened in one place, but they actually film it, somewhere else. Yeah. But Georgia's been huge in the TV and film industry lately.
Kind of like East Hollywood now, that Atlanta area.
Yeah, a lot of stuff being filmed there. But again, squirrel moment. Let's get back on track. So the ammunition. What would you say, FIOCCHI, as far as the ammunition? I mean, shotgun ammunition definitely. When I hear FIOCCHI, I think of shotgun.
Growing up in Idaho, I thought of FIOCCHI as a shotgun company. Most people west of the Mississippi say FIOCCHI.
FIOCCHI.
So just sounding the word out and don't really know it. But even people in the industry that have been around forever, even people that have met Carlo and Pietro FIOCCHI will call it FIOCCHI sometimes. So it's kind of interesting. We play on that. It's a discussion starter. I would say my impression since I got here and really from being in the industry is that most people know FIOCCHI for premium shot shell, really in the sporting clay and trap in the competitive side of shot shell. And they know us pretty well for that. Yeah, I would say we dominate there. FIOCCHI was the first company in the industry to really build a high grade focused shot shell product for pheasants. Now everybody's got one, but I was at ATK when we launched the Prairie Storm product up there, but FIOCCHI had kind of started that with nickel plated shot with a product called Golden Pheasant. It has a humongous following, I've found since I got here. Yeah. We build a full line of waterfowl loads that are fantastic. That's zinc plated steel and really high grade product. Mm-hmm. I don't know that a lot of people know that. So that's something that's here. We do everything from 4.6 to 454 and 300 Win Mag, and there's some of those that are missing. We don't do 338 Lapua, at least not on the U.S. side. Mm-hmm. Something that there's other things to add to it, but for the most part, we got a pretty robust and full centerfire line and a fantastic shot shell line, and we build a lot of products here in Missouri. So
very cool.
It's a good segue.
Along those lines, I think this would be a good time for now. It's time for the Talking Lead
Facts to Fight the Myths
with our guest Casey Betzold. So Casey, what is your fact to fight the myth?
Well, myself included, when I joined the team here, there's some things here at FIOCCHI that I believe most people don't know. And I would say that the number one thing we run into with our sales team out running around the country is that most consumers believe that FIOCCHI is a product that's imported from Italy, 100%. I think there's a lot of people even right down the road here in Springfield, up the road 3 miles, that don't know the factory is here. The factory sits on 280 acres in the Ozark Hills in Missouri, and 85 to 88% of the product that goes to the U.S. market is manufactured here at this plant, with 100 American workers that get up and go to work every day to build ammo and put it in boxes and ship it out to all the biggest distributors and chain stores in America and small dealers in America. I think that's something that a lot of people don't know. And while we have a partnership with the Italian, home base, really, there's some components that come from there. Some of the holes come from Italy, but we get components from other places around the world, and we get shot from China. We get shot from right up the road in Missouri. We get, depending on what the product is. And, sure. And it's a lot of the places, a lot of the other ammo manufacturers in America get their components. We're in vertical integration phase right now and building some of our own bullets right here on property and looking at, some acquisitions in the space. So there's a lot going on right here in the U.S. And if you showed up out here, another, thing I think people expect is expect to see a bunch of Italians working in the U.S.
Yeah.
We have one guy here that is, firmly was born and raised in Italy, that moved over here as a student and has been here ever since. Yeah. Outside of that, it's
probably got some Italian descent people, that are working for you, but
yeah, sure. Cause that's, no more than,
I didn't realize that. Yeah. I was thinking that, it was Italian, you bringing stuff in and you're just like distributing it from there, but you're actually making the ammunition in Missouri, American jobs.
Shoot match, man. It's there's some still some calibers, some of the Euro caliber stuff we import in. There's some 9mm we import in, but there's a ton of product that's manufactured.
Are you exporting from the U.S.?
Yep, we are. Yep, and that's starting to increase. If you come visit the factory, Marty, it's the manufacturing piece that's on the center of 280 acres, and it's crawling with whitetail and turkeys and a stocked pond, and it's
Is that how you test your ammo?
No, we should. No, it's,
you got your own testing grounds right there.
We do, yeah. It's gorgeous too. But we sit out on the porch when it's in between phone calls or when we're on a cell phone, and it was an old dairy farm, and so the office I'm sitting in is the original dairy farmhouse.
Oh, that's cool.
Years ago, and they've added on to it several times but everybody's in offices in here right now. We expect that to change in the near future, but it's been here forever, and the old original hand cut logs are built into the walls, and
oh, cool.
It's a really cool place. It really is, and we love being here. So.
Well, I'll have to come up and we'll do like a live tour so we can show all the lead heads.
Love to have you.
Yeah, that'll be cool. I always wanted to go to, I've heard about the Ozarks, and isn't that where that wasn't where Dirty Dancing occurred, was it?
I don't know.
Wasn't that where that lodge was in Dirty Dancing? Was the Ozarks?
Could be. That could be true.
I can't remember. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I would love to come up. We definitely need to make that happen.
Yeah, do it. You're really not that far away either. When you're home, that is.
Yeah. So now you're making ammunition for obviously hunters. You've got some good just go out plinking kind of ammo. Are you guys looking at the competition? Are you designing ammo for the competition shooter out there? I mean, other than the shotgun world.
So I would say our lineup of pro shooters out there is really unrivaled, which is kind of interesting also because FIOCCHI's not the biggest in the industry. Mm-hmm. But Diane and Ryan Muller are part of the FIOCCHI shooting team, and
great ambassadors to have. Also, Diana has been doing a great service for our 2A community up there in Washington. So more power to her, definitely.
Yeah, she runs the DC project and just does a fantastic job getting the message out. Her and her husband Ryan are both competitive shooters and run FIOCCHI products. Jerry Michelik and Lena and Kay Michelik run our products in certain segments within their 3-gun shooting competition and training. Jerry runs our shot shells. They'll be at the event in Vegas and stop by the booth out there.
Nice.
There's some new folks that we're talking to. There's a ton on the shotgun side, in the competitive space of sporting clays from youth and women and male shooters. They're running FIOCCHI product. I would say that we lead the way on the sporting clay side, and trap and skeet we're really strong, and that's probably where we're most well known. But we're opening up partnerships going into next year that are exciting. We're pretty excited about that. Will focus some more on the centerfire side of our products and allow us to launch some premium products where we haven't had premium products before and haven't in the space, get into some calibers we haven't played with before, and bring some things to the shooting industry that are new and exciting for sure.
And he's teasing guys to what more than likely, I'm not going to say a definite, but we're going to get some exclusives at SHOT Show at the Talking Lead headquarters at Buck Knives booth.
Yeah, we'll talk there at the booth. On the 19th of January, there's an event, a range event that takes place the Sunday prior to SHOT Show.
And that event, lead heads are familiar with that because I've gone to that. Was it the last 3 years that we've?
At least 3, yeah.
I've been every year you've had it, so
4. This will be 4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the Antares Alliance Try and Buy event, and FIOCCHI sponsoring that event, and excited to get out there with our products and feature those products. And show people what they are. And the thing that's interesting about that event for the lead heads listening is that at noon on that day, they actually open in that event to the public, which, SHOT Show isn't open to the public. So a lot of people are frustrated because they always wanted to get out there and see what SHOT Show is all about. And while we don't control SHOT Show or, the Alliance doesn't control SHOT Show. They have an event where they're going to open the gates for civilians to walk in and have a chance to see some of these products that are being featured to the industry for the first time.
Nice.
So that's kind of cool. If anybody wants an excuse to go to Vegas, that's a good one.
So tell them where that's going to be.
So 19 January, Pro Gun Vegas sits in Boulder City, just south of Las Vegas. It's about a 20-minute ride from Vegas down to the Pro Gun Club. And the Antares Alliance Try and Buy event will take place there all day. We'll start for 9 and go to 4:30 or 5, I think. And they'll open the gates at noon for non-industry people for $10. They can get in and shoot stuff and check out things and see everything. And
you can't beat that.
No, it's awesome. And we like that event from the FIOCCHI standpoint because there's a lot of flexibility there. For the products we're going to be featuring, we needed that flexibility on the range to show the products in a specific way,
right.
And really help people understand what that product is designed to do. And that's why a lot of people like it. If they can't get
Who
into
are some
SHOT
of the
Show,
companies that are going to be out there?
Buck Knives will be there. You were just with those guys.
Mm-hmm.
HK has partnered with us on the sponsorship. So HK is a brand everybody knows. Triarc Systems, Dead Air Suppressors, Dead Air Silencers, I think is their technical name.
Yeah.
They make a fantastic product. Triarc does some custom weaponry. They'll be there partnered with us. Tactical Games is made up of a core of sponsors, but it's kind of a competitive space. John Teagan, Tig is one of their guys in that network, and he'll be out there.
Cool.
But we'll have. It sounds like the Mitchellicks will make it out. Ryan and Dial will make it out. Gatman and Chris Littlejohn will make it out. And we're hoping Travis Haley will be there to help us with stuff. So we should have a heck of a good time there.
And then, of course, Lefty will be there. So you lead heads come out. If you're going to be in Vegas for SHOT Show, come out to the Antares Try and Buy event. Come out a day earlier. That's all you got to do. I mean, what's another $120 on a hotel room or something. Come on out, have a good time with us. And you guys are going to be doing another auction for FIOA. Is that right? Raising some money for FIOA?
You guys, your folks all know Bill Hamstead really well at this point, and Bill is part of that alliance network from the FIOA side. FIOA is an organization, but it also has a foundation, the FIOA Foundation, and so every year that event generates runs a silent auction, and a lot of the companies that are exhibiting will throw products in that. So there's some really, really cool stuff that shows up in that auction.
Yeah.
And
several of our sponsors have chipped in on that auction as well. So I'm sure we'll probably be doing that again this year. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Always look forward to the Antares Try and Buy event. And I'm glad that FIOCCHI stepped up and is going to make it an even better event than it has been the past in the years past. So looking forward.
Yeah, Walther, Umarex, HK, FIOCCHI. There's some brands out there that everybody knows that Buck Knives that will be kind of carrying that torch from a company size perspective. And then there's a lot of the young up and coming brands out there that have got some really cool products that will be featuring their stuff at that event also. So it's a cool event. It really is.
Yeah, very cool. And again, we are honored that you guys have stepped up and jumped on board with the Talking Lead podcast as an official sponsor. I mean, it's great to be in the company of, you mentioned some of the great names with the Mullers and the Mitchellicks. I always say their name wrong. It's like saying FIOCCHI.
Tough.
Yeah. And some other great names there. So it's nice to be in that company of individuals. So what I want to do now, Casey, is I've been doing this giveaway to celebrate our 300th episode of Talking Lead, and now we're in 327.
300. Jeez.
Now we're 327 now. This started in episode 300, so several months ago, and we've just been giving all kinds of awesome things away from our sponsors, friends of the show. We've given everything from ASP flashlights to gift cards from Glock to 1776 United. We even gave away a Rebel silencer from Dooley Defense, 22 silencer. We've pretty much given everything away up until this point. We've still got an X Steel Targets GONG, which is what we're going to be giving away now. So what I did was I asked our listeners, I did this video with one of their Texas stars. And it was about 3 years ago that I did this YouTube video. and I asked them to go back, find that video. And I'd done several videos with X-Steel targets, but this one in particular. And some of you found it, and I guess some of you didn't. But it's X-Steel Targets Texas Star AR-500 target. I did it September the 7th, 2016. And I asked you to go on there and say, all right, who's in the video with me? What are we shooting as far as gun-wise? And then X-Steel target-wise, what targets are we shooting at? So some of you found, like I said, some of you found it. So I'm going to go through here now. Old Tennessean, Jason Edgar, Nick Dooley, Austin Whalen, Bald and Curious, Troy S., Slick Silverado, Michael Perry. And I don't care if you got the right answers or not. It was just a fact that you go and you leave a comment, you know. As you guys know, I'm very lenient on my contest here. So just to see that you're taking part, you know, that's what I'm looking for. So thank you guys for doing that. And I'm going to let Casey pick our winner. And I'm going to go through here and assign number. Have you got like a random numberizer or something app or anything like that on your phone?
Okay. I can pull one down. I can pull one up.
Yeah. All right. So while he's pulling that up, we're going to go through and we're going to assign numbers. So, 6 Silverado's 1, Michael Perry is 2, Old Tennessean is 3, Jason Edgar is 4, Nick Dooley is 5, Austin Wayne is 6, and Troy S is 7. So we got 1 through 7.
1 through 7. Okay.
And your randomizer.
I did one. I have one actually going. An actual random number generator is running right now.
Okay. And
3.
3?
3 is the number.
Okay. So the winner of the X-Steel Targets GONG that we're giving away is Old Tennessean. And he says, yeehaw, love my X-Steel target. There's a Texas Star, a mini classic popper. Andrew shoots the Smith & Wesson M&P Pro 9mm. Casey is up next with the Glock 34. Then Marty with the SIG 226 MK25 9mm. A little back and forth work on the mini popper, Star, and gongs. Then a J-frame is demonstrated, one-handed. Then Marty finishes off with one hit. Hashtag Lead Head. Well deserving. So, Old Tennessean, shoot me an email, talkinglead@gmail.com, and I'm going to put you in touch with Bud over at X-Steel Targets, and we're going to get you that gong. So that almost gets all of our giveaways for this 300th celebration, Casey. We've got one more with Kel-Tec, where we're giving away a CP33 pistol, and that's
awesome.
That's the big one. So it's been like hell trying to get my schedule and Chad's schedule, Chad Enos over at Kel-Tec together, and Matt.
That is a tough schedule to line up. That is a fact.
So we're going to announce that soon. I promise, Leadheads, on what you're going to have to do to win that CP33 pistol. But I think you have to admit we've been giving away some awesome stuff, and in between that, we've been giving away items as well. We ran that big giveaway with Mission First Tactical here recently, and it made 30 of you Leadheads really happy with some tactical wallets and some tactical dump trays. And if you weren't a winner, you can go and buy those now. They have those available on their website, and it's under the custom. And you can go there, and you can still make great gifts for the holidays, stocking stuffers for your favorite Leadhead. So make sure you go and check those out. And, I was talking about Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales. Kel-Tec has been running some awesome deals. If you've been checking their social media, you've been seeing their posts for discounts on RDBs, shipping, all kinds of other things that they were running. I don't know that they still have those. Your time may be up on them. But keep checking. That's what I'm saying. Follow those that support this show, and you're going to benefit somehow, some way, whether it's through discount codes that we offer exclusive to our Leadheads, whether it's deals that they're running. We're going to be giving away a starter kit plus from Modern Spartan Systems, so it's going to have all their cleaning solutions in there, their accuracy oil, and then also they're going to throw in some of that TVT engine oil additive. So we're going to be giving that away coming up soon from Modern Spartan Systems. And then you use that code TLCP15 to get 15% off. And then they're also going to donate 15% to Camp Patriot, another very worthwhile veteran organization. That's TLCP15. makes great gifts. So go there, use that code ASPUSA, use the code LED20. You're going to get 20% off any of their lights or light accessories. That's LED20 at ASPUSA. First Tactical. This is going to go to help benefit our good buddies over at the FLEOA, the Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association. You use the code FLEOA, F-L-E-O-A, you're going to get 25% off. That's huge. And they've got a great line of products over at First Tackle, everything from apparel to knives to lights to boots, all kinds of things, bags. And they're also going to donate 10% to FLEOA. So 25% off and an additional 10% they're going to donate to FLEOA. Use that code FLEOA. Medicine in Bad Places, 20% off. Use the code TalkingLead. You get 20% off any of their medical products there, their IFAKs. And if you use anything in their IFAKs, this is amazing, Casey. If you use anything in their IFAK kit, they will replace it free.
Wow, that is crazy.
That's crazy. And then use the code TalkingLead15, and you're going to get 15% off any of their training courses. And you have to go to their website to see when and where they're going to be. But you can get 15% off by using TalkingLead15 on that. So those are some just immediate things you guys can take advantage of. Go show them love on social media, Facebook, Instagram. Let them know that you're lead heads. Buy these products. Support them. That's how we're able to bring you all these awesome deals, all these awesome companies, each and every episode. Great companies like FIOCCHI now. I'm sure that we will have some things coming up in the near future with FIOCCHI. So stay tuned for that. Sure. Dipstick Hydrographics, the Leadys, the Talking Leady, Casey, the Evil Black Assault Mug. The Talking Leady keeps your drinks minutes colder than a Yeti. The Talking Leady. Get yours today. You guys go to Dipstick Hydrographics website, and you'll be able to order those there. We now have a wide variety of colors, not just the Evil Black one. I think there's red and green and silver and all kinds of different colors there. There's 2 different sizes that you can get. Makes great gifts. Go there and get those. Of course, 1776 United, the official T-shirts of Talking Lead. You can get the classic logo. You can get the Lead Head Brigade logo. And soon we're going to get the AK Corner logo in shirts and patches as well. 1776 United. Buck Knives, they have been running some phenomenal deals over the holiday. I think they've still got some things going on. If you're in Post Falls, Idaho, or you want to go, you can go to their actual in-store there, and they are running some crazy deals on product there at their shop. And
it's a nice store too.
Yeah, and it's great. And they do public tours also, so they'll take you on a tour too if you want to do that.
I would say that is one of the coolest tours in the industry I've ever done, is that tour.
Yeah.
The stuff that they do in that facility. Fantastic building, good people, great products. Very, very impressive facility, especially when you get back where they're actually hand sharpening the knives before they go to the customer.
Yeah. I mean, just the whole process to go through and to see how a knife is made. It's amazing what all goes into it.
It is.
And then, of course, the presenting sponsors for the Talking Lead AK Corner, Century Arms. I'm sure you go and show them some love. I mean, just check their website. I'm sure they've got some things going on there, but they've got kind of like you guys where they've got distributors. They don't really compete with their distributors. So check out who's carrying their products, and you're probably going to find some great deals. Your local gun store, your local gun dealer for Century Arms. Occam Defense, also running some Black Friday, Cyber Monday holiday sales on their swag. I think he offered a discount on some shipping and some of their new 1775s, but go check them out, Occam Defense. And I think that's everybody. One other thing that I wanted to mention, Casey, is working with Buck Knives. You know, it's been great working with those guys, and it's brought back a lot of memories. I don't think there's been anybody who listens to this show that, their grandfather or their dad or, great grandfather didn't have a Buck knife.
For sure.
There's been a new page started for the Buckmaster, their 184, their 185 knife that they did. That Rambo looking knife, very iconic knife that Buck made back in the 80s. And it's the guy who wrote the book, Rich Nyman. I've had him on the show. You know, he wrote the authorized history of the Buckmaster, the 184, the 185. He's the head of that page. So if you want to go join that Facebook page, it's just the Buckmaster. I think if you just Google Buckmaster, it'll come up there. And there's a lot of enthusiasts that have started joining that page, posting their pictures, a lot of unique ones that you didn't know existed. But people are on there commenting, going back and forth, and it looks like it's building a good following right now. So make sure you go and check out that Facebook page as well. So I wanted to mention that. But real quick, before we get off here with Casey, give FIOCCHI's website, social media, all that, where they can get in touch with you guys and interact.
There's a number of FIOCCHI pages out there on the Instagram side because of our UK office and FIOCCHI Munizioni on the Italian side. But FIOCCHI Ammunition is our main page. So you can search that on Instagram. Pretty easy to find on Facebook with FIOCCHI. Search FIOCCHI Ammunition. You'll find us there too. Website is FIOCCHIUSA.com.
And that's FIOCCHI.
Correct. And when I would say, like you said earlier, keep coming back to that page because you'll see a different page today than you will see about 6 weeks from now, which will be very, very interesting, exciting updates to the website, a little bit more interactive for the consumer to really understand what we have. And to your point at the very beginning of this, what is the ammo that you need for the certain things you're going to go do, down to what's the SKU you're looking for, who carries it, where can I find it, what's my local dealer I can track down and actually get the product.
Very cool. So make sure you check them out, guys. FIOCCHI, not FIOCCHI, it's FIOCCHI, FIOCCHI. And we're going to have a lot more coming from Casey and the gang at FIOCCHI in the near future. Again, we're very excited to have you guys on board, part of the family. Can't be more excited about this. Looking forward to getting some of the hunting ammo. I'm going to be talking about some of my hunting endeavors, deer hunting coming up, and we're going to be using some FIOCCHI ammo for that. So you guys will be hearing a little bit more about that sooner than later. Any parting words for the lead heads?
Other than there'll probably be some ammo giveaways in the future, I would guess, through Talking Lead. That's always a good one.
Hell yeah.
It's like it's tough to beat free ammo, right? So, yeah, we'll be supporting that. We'll get you some product over to do some testing on with the new products. I know how you have some lines in on testing products for people with a lot of experience in testing products and weapons and firearm systems and different categories. So we'll be including you in that. So
I know some people. I know a few people.
Yeah, it's good to know people. But other than that, man, I'm looking forward to seeing you here in just a few short weeks and wish you and the listeners a Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday Season, man.
That's right. That's coming up next. Man, you had to remind me of that. Oh, my God. Still time to get your Christmas shopping in, guys. And go visit all these friends of the show, these sponsors of the show. And I guarantee you're going to find something that someone that you know that you're looking for a gift for at one of their websites.
Good stuff, man.
Casey, again, thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you at the Try and Buy. Can't wait for Vegas. We're going to have a good time. Know you're going to come by. Bring by some of your ambassadors. We'll get them on the show over at Buck Knives, the official headquarters of Talking Lead at the 2020 SHOT Show coming up.
Will do. Looking forward to it.
And the AK Corner, guys, it's coming up, and we're going to have one of the people that Casey mentioned earlier as our guest, where I've been promising to talk about the AK-47 and suppressors, silencers, however you want to say it. We're going to have Mike Pappas with Dead Air silencers. We're going to have a couple of other guests that I'm not going to mention. They're going to be surprises that are going to be on that as well. It's something to look forward to. The 15th every month. Actually, it'll be the 16th that I drop it because the 15th's on a Sunday this month. But that's coming, so be looking forward for the AK Corner. And, of course, we'll have some episodes before then, too. But until then, as always, lead heads, keep your loved ones close.
Keep your firearms closer with the OPM. Love it, man. It was fun.